Hello, my name is Matthew, and welcome to Ma Sarah's Motivation. My mother, the late Ma Sarah, a single woman from rural Liberia with no formal education, she defied the odds by coming to the city of Monrovia, working hard from sunup to sundown, building a business, educating her children and grandchildren, leaving a legacy. To me, she will always be my hero. My mother, when she was about 15 or 16, 17 years old, living in rural Liberia, the missionary built a school and they wanted all of the girls to attend. And so my mother asked my grandmother at the time if she could go to school. But at that time, she was already betrothed to a chief, a paramount chief. And so they had to ask the chief permission. Unfortunately for my mother, the chief said, no, what is the need for a girl to go to school? It will be a waste of time. I'm talking about in the 50s, right? In the 50s, like during those days, and especially being a girl, they were expected to get married and be housewives and help around the house. So why waste time in school? Anyway, to cut a long story short, my mother got married off to the chief. Eventually, she had 5 children. 4 girls and 1 boy. I'm her only son. And so she lived in the interior for some time, and when she saw that what happened to her could also happen to her children, that's when she took the bold step and she came to the city of Monrovia, not knowing what to expect, with nothing but just the determination that in Monrovia, her children could go to school, and she came and she worked hard. She worked hard from sunup to sundown. I remember growing up, and I could never understand why until later in life when I was older, why my mother she would pay school fees, she would buy books, but there was money for nothing else. And so this is her story. But as I got older and understood the sacrifices that she made, I really came to appreciate who she was as a person. And so when my mother passed away, I have been grieving all this time, looking for the way to honor her memory. And so that's why I too had to come out of my comfort zone to do this series of videos that you will be seeing. I gave my mother her flowers while she was still alive. I made sure that she knew that she was appreciated. I made sure that she knew that I love her, and I was proud of who she is as a person. And so this is not a guilt trip, okay? But this is just something to share with all of you, to encourage all of you about this amazing woman that I'm privileged to call my mother. And so I want to take this time to say thank you to Angie for helping to share my mother's story, and in which I have agreed to honor my mother is the house that she built in Liberia. I transformed that. We renovated the place and we named it after her, Ma Sarah's guest house. So we are running it as a guest house. So when you go to Liberia, you'll see in this series of videos that will be coming up, you'll see how the project started, the transformation that we've made to the place and what it looks like today. My mother was a businesswoman, and one of the things that I learned from my mother was, to be a business person. And along the journey with Ma Sarah Motivation, you will see me sharing nuggets of things that I learned from my mother. She didn't go to school. She didn't have no formal education, but I consider her one of the wisest person that have taught me up to this date. And I will just drop one little nugget before we go to the videos. For example, delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. I remember as a boy wanting a bike so bad because the street that we live on, we were the poorest family. And most of the boys had bike. Not everybody, but most of them had a bike. And I wanted a bike too. So I told my mother, Mom, I cannot get a bike. And she working so hard, knowing that she wouldn't have enough to pay school fees and to buy food. She said, I can't afford a bag. We can't afford a bag right now. But I tell you what, if you come to the market, I will give you. And at the time, we sold fish, okay? And my mother worked in Joba Market on the old road, and we attended the school Haywood anyway. So my mother said, if you come to the market on weekends or after school, I will give you your portion of fish to sell, and whatever you realize, the profit will be yours. And then you can save it up and buy your bike. And so we strike the deal. So every day, especially weekends after school, I will go to the coastal with my mother, get my own cases of fish, come to the market, sell it, and whatever profit I got, maybe $5 here today, $10 there. And during those days, the dollar had value. And I remember saving up for about 6 to 8 months, almost to a year, for that bike. And the bike during those days, it cost $100. I remember going to the store with my cash bag filled with $100 coins and just dumping it on the table, pointing to that bike and telling the man I wanted that bike. I didn't know that little exercise in delayed gratification would be a blessing to me down the road. I don't know if any of you have heard about the marshmallow experiment, where they put a group of kids in a room and they left a marshmallow with them, and they told them that if they could wait the longest without eating the marshmallow, and the experimenter came back, they will be given a reward. And they did it to a bunch of kids, and they followed them over a period of time. Some kids ate the marshmallow right away. Other people, they tapped their head, they did math in their head, they waited a little bit, and others waited some time before eating it. But the conclusion of that experiment is that they followed those kids over the period of time. And all those kids who were patient enough to wait, to be patient, who waited the longest, they all became very, very successful. And those who could not wait, their life didn't turn out the way, like the best. Let me just put it that way. And so just that exercise of my mother teaching me to work, to be patient, to save up for my bike have served me so well. And that is the same exercise that I pass on to my 2 kids. I tell them you can have one gift at Christmas, or you can have 5 gifts after Christmas, like Boxing Day or Black Friday, right? When the price of everything comes down. Because we live in a society today where people just want things and they want it now. And if you want to be successful in life, sometimes you have to be patient to wait. For example, the guests that you see us will be featuring in these videos. It wasn't just built overnight. My mother just didn't become successful overnight, but she was persistent, she was disciplined, and she was hardworking. And those are some of the qualities that I'm hoping to take from her, that I learned from her, and I'm hoping to share with you to see that indeed, if you're persistent, if you're hardworking, if you have integrity, and with discipline, indeed your dream will come to pass. So thank you, Angie, for sharing my mother's story. And I hope all of you watching this video will go to her channel and to subscribe and be a blessing to her. And may the blessings of my Savior be upon you, Angie. Thank you so much. Now let's go to the video.